What do you know? It is officially 2022. Into the new year now, aren't we? So how in the heck is everybody doing? Doing good, I hope. I'm going to give it a little bit of time because I have messed with you guys a little bit and made it a 5-minute countdown instead of a 15. So for those of you that are planning on sneaking in here in about 10 minutes, unfortunately, we'll already be up and going. That's alright. Give them a little time. No rush tonight. First show. We can take it easy. But we are going to talk a little bit tonight about what 2022 is going to look like. What I think we need to work on. And all of that fun. I think we're getting a few folks scattered in. Hey, Max9, nice to see you. Thank you for the diamond there. Appreciate it, bud. Yeah, tonight we're going to go over the quick list things I think we need to work on in the upcoming year. Give you guys a little bit of heads up anyway. So for the folks that are in here, if you would, or if you want to, you might want to grab a pen and paper, because there's a few things we're going to cover tonight. Plus, next show we're going to do how to process and pack up some pork loin and stuff like that. So tonight, we got to get the knives ready. So we're going to go over sharpening up a knife and how to do it, what I use. Try to give folks less expensive options out there to get the job done. I don't like those PP, the V-style knife sharpeners that have the ceramic rods and carbon steel in them. They're alright. They're just don't put a good enough edge on for me. They work in a pinch, you know, if you're out in the field and had to put an edge back on quick, or if you really screwed your blade up, it might work alright, but for the most efficient blade out there, you're going to want to get a stone and put an edge on it, but the right way. And we'll talk about how to do that tonight. Give you guys a little bit of background. I actually went to school to be a butcher. And needless to say, a lot of that class was sharpen knives. So I've done my fair share, and we'll do it live tonight so you guys can kind of see my process and go from there. But we're going to give it a little bit, let folks get sifted in and filtered in here, and then we're going to go. And I've made some changes to the show for 2022. We're going to get back to our original roots of prepared mindedness and making sure to plan for the future so we don't have to worry about it so much. We're going to be working on that. Give it about another 2 minutes. So, how's everybody doing over on Foxhole? By the way, we have some new channels, and we'll see how it goes. We're trying out Vaughn TV one, and we're over on Trovo now. And without doing the music and the movies, we can still be on the big boys and get our message out. Not OnlyFans. I wish. I'm not brave enough to put my feet on OnlyFans. But we are over on YouTube against my better judgment. Still the big boy in the bunch. So, and you know what? They haven't shut me down yet. It was funny when I went through teardown and cleaning of my AR-15. You would have thought that they would have blew that channel out of there, but Miss EB, good to see you tonight. But, yeah, the video's still up. It's not blocked, so. Demonetized, I'm sure, but it's not blocked. And then, of course, we're over on Twitch, so I'll have to get my swimming pool out and my goofy ass cat ears, or I don't know what the hell they do there. I'm on Twitch just because. Hey, look at that. Yoga Pants Deplorable is here. Long time no see there, neighbor. How's life over in the big state? But alright, we got a few folks in here tonight, so we're just going to get started with the show, otherwise we'll be here all freaking night. I don't think anybody's up for that, not listening to me jaw jack the whole time. So, it's a new year, and as we talked about on our New Year special, 2021 was the kick in the ass that everybody needed. Get paid to drink beer, only cans. Lucid, that's a good one. But yeah, 2021 was definitely a kick in the ass. I think it brought some things to light that we may or may not have thought about. That it was always a possibility, but we had hoped it was a long way down the way. And turns out it doesn't take long for shit to hit the fan. But as long as it's not in the news cycle, it's not that big of a deal, right? Like a supply chain that frickin' crashed, or inflation that's going through the roof, and that means your dollar's not worth anything. Whatever the government will give you for it. Medical shortages, good lord. Yeah, we had issues upon issues. So maybe it's time we start planning issues. Hey, Asshead's in here. You got your name changed, I see. Good. But, yeah. It was an interesting year. But it's in the past, and the only thing we can do for now is to learn from it and try not to repeat some of that stuff. It's going to be tough. Went to the pet store to get dog food yesterday. The shelves were empty. Fresh or frozen food. Oh, well. The food shortages are, they've been rearing their ugly heads little by little here in the States. It's a weird cycle, I guess. Not everything's out at once, but the stuff that's normally should be right there is few and far between. There you go. I bet you dogs kind of like eating kangaroo. I don't know. Hell, humans like eating kangaroo from what I understand. I don't know. Not my thing, I guess. Interesting year to say the least. A lot of it's out of our control, right? But tonight we're going to talk about some of the stuff we can get. Time to lean back to our predecessors and start doing some of the... Well, Max 9, I don't know if I would necessarily call 6 cents a drop. See, here it's went up $2, but hey, never float your boat, bud. Uh-oh. Had a rough weekend. I don't know if there's any such thing as a rough weekend at the cabin. It was difficult, but it was still better than sitting in. But, anyway. We've gotten to this point where we live pretty day to day. We don't exactly... look ahead anymore. Just because it's really easy for us, you know, if you run out of milk, you drive down to the grocery store and you get milk. Example, bud. Run out of dog food, you think you should just be able to drive to the pet store and get some dog food. Not always the case, and I think it's going to get harder and harder. So, that being said, even the small hiccups in the supply chain that we had, because it can get worse, trust me. A bunch of ships sitting offshore. Yeah, that sucked, but trucking goes down. Interstate travel becomes because of not having a certain card with you. If that stuff begins to happen, it's going to get a lot worse. In the States here, anyway. And think about this. If right now, if something's out in your grocery store, you can usually give it about 2 or 3 days and it'll show back up. And then it's out and goes through this lovely cycle. What are we going to do when it's out and it doesn't come back for months? Food is a pretty big issue right now. Droughts. Weather that we're having out on the east side. Cattle shortages. I have cattle shortages. There's sold half the herd. Yeah. Can, dry, and raise. There you go. That's what we need to be thinking about. I don't know about you, but I'd much rather have the just-in-case supplies stocked up. Worrying about where it's going to come from. Just my thoughts. And I know now's probably... it doesn't feel like it's the best time to be jumping into this and going whole hog, just because see the prices of things through the roof, and half the time you're not making as much as you were a couple years ago, let's say. I know I've had some big changes in my family, so trust me, I'm right there with you. But I don't see it getting a whole lot better. There is one spot that we're going to talk about. I think we need to be ready to stock up when we... But we'll get into that a little later. Prices are still high. I get it. Hard to come across. But now more than ever, we need to be more vigilant about our preps. Plus, we need to start taking care of what we have. Because there's, you know, we've come to this fundamental belief that we've kind of a throwaway country. Basically, I'll just, you know, hell, if it gets a little dull or doesn't do what it's supposed to do anymore, I'm just going to throw it away. Build it, I'm not going to sharpen. We're a disposable lifestyle right now. That can come to a quick, abrupt end. Plus, it wastes a hell of a lot of money. Think about it. The knife that we're going to be sharpening is a commercial kitchen knife. Nothing expensive. I think I bought them a 2-pack for $13 Sam's right now. And I don't know how long that's going to last. Stainless steel's going to commodity. So I would suggest having go cheap knives. I say cheap, they're inexpensive, but they're actually pretty quality. Edge for a decent amount of time. For a kitchen knife, that's what you want. You don't want them super hard like a buck or something like that, or a, you know, a Western, or some of those old carbon steel knives that used to hold a edge like no tomorrow. Hey, Tiana, good to see you. Scavenging lifestyle, that's for sure. And that goes for you folks in the city, too. Trust me, there's plenty of wild edibles. I can remember one year we drove into town so we could pick a wild apple tree and make apple butter and applesauce and did all the fun. Buy once, cry once. That's right. Yeah, my good knives are. I do have Benchmade folders, the old bucks. And I do like this with the aluminum frame and the scales on it. It's super light in your pocket. Fairly easy to open on it. But problem is this knife is $180. Well, was. I don't know what it is now, but sawmill saw and truck leaf. You know, I have. Actually, the sawmill blades work really well for fillet knives or boning knives. And I've made them out of old railroad spike. A lot of stuff. Well, farrier files. Find yourself a horseshoer or a farrier out there, and they go through files like it's going through files. So more than welcome to give them to you at scrap price. So anyway, as I was saying at the beginning of the show, if you guys could, if you have it, or if you want to, I guess I should. Let's get a piece of paper out, and we're just going to make a quick plan for 2022 and what I think we need to be focused on a little more. And I know you guys have already started a lot of this stuff, but most of your files are broke. You know what? Even a broken file, especially a farrier's file, you get a pretty good knife out of it. You don't use the whole file anyway when you're making a knife. And this spring we might get into that. I may have to fire up the forge and show you guys a little anvil work. But right now, 16 outside and the wind's blowing so goddamn hard. I don't know if I could get from the forge to the iron without having cold iron when I get there. But so what's and I want to ask you guys too, and I hope we get some interaction here, because I think we have some fairly smart folks in here between Foxhole, DLive, and Twitch and Twitter and all the other fun ones that we're on tonight. We need to get a list together. That's what we're going to do tonight. I have the startings of a list that I want to work on. And you guys tell me if you can think of anything else. So, my first one, which I've already got a pretty good jump on, is you need to find yourself good hand tools. Not electric tools. Not battery operated, not hand tools. I'm talking a good set of 3/8" ratchets. A good set of open end wrenches. Smokey, you just won't let that go, will you, buddy? You were supposed to show me how to tie that thing. A good set of screwdrivers. A universal oil filter wrench come in handy. I haven't one of those yet. Scrap wrench. Handsaws. You can pick up handsaws right now. Pretty damn cheap. I really like the Japanese fine tooth handsaws. They do a really good job. And you can rip with them. Oh, good. You found your... All right. Let's see. A bit and brace. You guys all know what a bit and brace is? A bit and brace set? Yeah, silky saws are good. You don't have a silky, you know, you can get away with some of the knockoffs. They're not too bad, but okay. So I got some yeps and yeses. Okay, nope. All right. So a bit and brace is the old school way to drill a hole in wood. I picked up a set. Now let me see if I can look up a picture here. I picked up a couple of sets at a farm auction, and hey, you'd hate to know what I paid for them. Pennies on the dollar. Yeah, hand drill, kind of, yeah. See if I can. Well, as quick as I can. Yeah, this is what the shows are going to be from here on out. Kind of slow, methodical. But I think you guys... All right. So that is a bit and brace. See the top of these are a little funny shaped. They're kind of a pyramid, or not really a pyramid. They have 4 sides, but anyway. Yeah. And I would suggest that you get as long of bits as you can. And you'd be surprised how easy it is to go through some fairly thick timber with a bit and brace set. One thing you don't do, you definitely cut down on the number of holes that you're going to cut in there. Bit and braces are good to have, and like I said, hand saws we talked about. Chisels, get yourself a good set of chisels. I think it's the Stanley Maple. Those are fairly inexpensive, and I've had good luck with them. You can spend a lot of money on them. You always just called them yeah. Well, the hand drills were actually a little different. Hand drill is, well, I have some of those too. They're actually a plunge style. So they have spirals cut in the shaft as you plunge them in. It originally started for putting screws in doors and stuff like that. But you could put a bit on the end and cut a hole in. Yeah, they don't make them like they used to. That's and chuck it up an electric drill. Yeah, there was a lot of those done, but yeah, get yourself a bit and brace set. Get yourself set of clamps, good set of clamps. Old work done. C-clamps, all the good stuff. Yourself a good benchtop vise. Now, when I say find good ones, don't go. I wouldn't suggest going out and buying a lot of this stuff brand new, just because it's going to be awfully darn expensive. watch yourself a little bit there. Yeah, I've picked up a lot of this stuff at, you go to old farm auctions, stuff like that. And you can pick, I mean, it's usually fairly sad because it's state style auctions. They passed away and somebody doesn't see the value in it anymore. And, but their loss is your gain. And I'm thinking the guy that owned that before would probably want me to put it to work, so. I bought, hand planes. Look for some old Stanley hand planes. This flattening boards is going to become a little tricky if you don't have power. But I bought that 2 bit and brace sets, and they were full bit sets from 1/4 to 1 inch. And when I bought them, it was if you've ever been to an auction, usually when there's multiple sets, they'll say bidder's choice. And I think I paid, it was like $11 for 1 bit and brace set. And the guy said, well, bidder's choice, which one do you want? And I said, well, can I take them all for that price? I ended up with 3 bit and brace sets for $11 a piece, so $33. Just to show you what kind of stuff is out there, what you can find at some of these old farm auctions. And you gotta, gotta be right time, right place. Trust me, I've had to dig that thing out, a few times, and I got all the power drills in the world, but when you got to bore just one hole, and let me tell you, it's probably the cleanest cut hole I've ever put in Alpine board. I mean, a nice, smooth, sharp, cut like butter. Damnedest thing. But I would recommend picking up something like that. And keep your eye out for them. Anvils. Even if you do an anvil-like object, guys modified a chunk of railroad tie or railroad track, I guess, tie. Heavy chunk of steel. You'd be surprised at what you can do with just a square block of steel. But get it picked up and have some fun. I mean, I got a propane forge and stuff like that, but in reality, you could dig a hole in the ground, dig a vent hole to push air through, and you can forge with wood. You have to have coal, you don't have to have propane, natural gas, whatever. You can get wood hot enough to forge steel. Takes a lot. Not as nearly as efficient, but you can do it. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times, Yoga Pants, you're right. You can look at a farm auction bill, and if there's a lot of woodworking tools, as far as big equipment, bandsaw, stuff like that, one you want to hit, because more than likely there's a hell of a lot of hand tools there too. Good place to pick them up at. Yeah, so that's first go around, is I would concentrate on your tools, your maintenance items. Make sure they're all hand tools and you know how to use them before you have to know how to use them. The second one I want to talk about is storage. Everybody knows that when you get into this racket of trying to plan for the worst, storage can become an issue. I know it has for me. There's some options out there. But I would definitely take a look at some of your large clubs out there, like Sam's Club, Costco, heck, even Home Depot right now is running a pretty good storage sale. Yeah, oil filter wrench out of a motorcycle chain. Put it on a vice grip. Works pretty good. Best idea is to have all the gear and no idea. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I bought, God, I don't know. They're kind of a wheel around locker. They're probably 48 by 6 foot tall. And I bought quite a few of them at Sam's Club. They had them for, God, I think they were just under $200 a piece. And in fact, we're going to go over in one of the future shows. I turned one of those into a gun case. I turned a second one into a gear case, so hangers in it for bags and stuff. That way all your stuff is in one spot. Go scrambling around trying to figure out what's going on. And then, of course, your food storage and stuff like that. What I like about them is they're lockable. They're not fire resistant. They're not all that. But you can lock them up. Keep the kiddo out if you need to. That's the most important thing. Most of the time mine's open, but when he gets a little too rambunctious, we lock the gun case up. Yeah. That's some of the ways of storage. And I would, again, pay attention to auctions. Especially like school auctions. A lot of times schools will be pulling out old lockers and replacing them, and you can buy lockers for pennies on the dollar compared to what these damn things cost me. Then you put them in a front room or out in a garage or something like that, and they do just fine. And then we got to look at storage of other things. Correct ways to store. Because I would hope if anybody has a firearm out there, they have figured out this last year that you might want to get into doing some reloading. But you got to look at how you're going to store everything. Tarnished bullet or clumped powder from high humidity or wet primers from high humidity. That's all cases of failure. And can get to be an issue for you. So you need to look at how to store that stuff. Pay attention. Especially with the powder, because you can spend a lot of money on powder and waste a lot of money on powder by not being ready. How to store it. A lot of folks, I see a lot of folks that reload down in their basement, which is fine if you don't have water issues or anything like that. It's probably one of the more milder places to keep everything because your temperature stays the same range for most of the year. But if you have water intrusion or a high humidity basement, it can be an issue. So you got to pay attention to that kind of stuff. But storage is one of the big things. We got to figure out how to store this stuff so you can still live day to day without having to walk sideways around your house to get through your preps. Third thing I want to look at is storing fuel. Desiccant packs, yep. Desiccant packs are important. So in a lot of areas, especially for folks who live in town, storing fuel gets a little tricky because you can only have X amount of fuel without having a permit or a license or all that crap. But there's a way you can kind of sneakily get around that, and I've been looking at it. Mainly because I just want to store in smaller containers. I don't want to have, Problem is you put a 500-gallon tank outside and pretty quick the neighbors start helping themselves, so I'm looking at putting 55-gallon drums in the shop being able to vent them outside and be able to pump out of them. Now the nice part is, every time you go fill your car up, just go buy a 10-gallon gas can or a 5-gallon gas can and dump it in slow. You'll get one of them tubs filled up, barrels filled up. And you do that over the year, you can build up a fair decent supply of fuel. But you also got to be looking at putting stabilizer in there, because anytime fuel sits on its own, it's going to cause, erosion. It does have a tendency to suck up water, especially with the new ethanol blends they have out there. Sta-Bil is kind of important. You need to be using that stuff. And try to shoot for something that's non-ethanol. Now, mind you, even the non-ethanol stuff has a small amount of ethanol in it because they can't get it out of the pipelines at the refinery, but you can still cut down a lot of the problem. Get rid of that shit. But if you do that, you got to make sure that you're venting it correctly, because you're going to run into problems with evaporation and expansion when it's hot outside, collapsing a barrel when it gets cold, all that fun stuff. So having that vented outside air to where it can breathe will be the only way that you'll be able to use, a 55-gallon drum. This last year, the other thing I started to stockpile is oil and filters for my pickups and Mama's car and both my pickups. For some reason, and I don't know why, supply chain broke down on those too. I couldn't get... this was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I couldn't get my hands on a oil filter for my Power Stroke. Now, came in a week later and everything was fine, but as I said, what are you going to do when that day doesn't happen anymore? So, a case of oil filters will take you quite a ways. They're fairly inexpensive for what they do and how long they last. Doesn't cost you all that much. The oil I have started picking up at, again, big box stores or club stores. Sam's Club actually has a really good oil that they use under their own name, but I'm pretty sure it's bottled by oh gosh, what the heck? Mobil 1. It's a full synthetic and actually has passed most of the tests. Well, all the tests that anybody has actually put against it. And it's passed equally to Mobil 1, so. What Power Stroke do I have? I have a 2012 F350 with the 6.7 in it. The old 7.3, you can find those. You could find those at the time. The other funny part was my lower fuel filter canister, which is known for getting rock beat and started leaking. I ended up having to travel 200 miles one way. Find one when it started leaking. Luckily, a guy had one in stock and it was new old stock, so I asked him how many he had, and he said he had 2. I said, I'll take them both. Yeah, that was interesting. Out in the middle of nowhere, and I start dumping diesel on the ground because I got a rock hit in my filter. You have the 6.0. Well, the 6.0, you have the canister style filter up on top, which Wix makes some of those. Smokey, it's just, if that's all you need, that's plenty. I never understood these guys that worry about engine size. If it gets the job done for what you needed to do, then hey, it's a good truck. Now, the only problem that you run into with the 6.0 is when you switch over to the Wix filter, it's actually got a taller filter in it. So you have to end up changing the cap out. So if you ever go back to a Ford filter or any other one, make sure that you compare that filter cartridge with each other. Otherwise, you get a filter cartridge that's floating around inside of your oil filter canister, and that's not good. Then it's not really filtering. Ran into that quite a few times as a mechanic. But yeah, oil and filters, have them, you know what? Buy them for a year. Set them aside. Especially with synthetics, you don't necessarily have to change as often as you do with a semi-synthetic blend. You know, organic diesel and organic oil and synthetic oil mix. Doesn't break down as quickly. So you can push it a little bit. I don't push it too much longer than any other normal day, but we started life after 18 as a Ford mechanic. Wow. Poor guy. I know that feeling. I actually started in the heavy equipment side. I worked for Case International, where I went over to Ford Motor Company and started twisting and wrenching at a dealership, so. Got tired of the big stuff. It was too damn heavy. Buy them when they go on sale. Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, a lot of times, a lot of the aftermarket auto industry out there, you can usually catch them where they're doing a case lot sale, and you can buy cases of oil filters. Pretty expensive. Well, before we continue on this list, I'm gonna pay a little billage here just quick. If you haven't had a chance, and I hope by now you have, I've been preaching about it for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. You need to get out there and try Built Bars. Head over to built.com. There's tons of flavors out there. I guarantee you're going to find one you like. The coconut almond one is really good. And the cookie dough, if you can catch that at the right time. But if you want to eat a protein bar that tastes a hell of a lot more like a candy bar than it does a protein bar, give Built Bar a try. Head over to built.com, make your selection, and when you get to your shopping cart, there's a little section there that says promo code. Put in Montana free and you'll save 10% off your order. Anyway. All right, so the other thing I want you to look at stocking up on is camping supplies, and I know there's a lot of cheap crap out there that you can get your hands on. There's a lot of decent stuff. But I'm thinking more along the lines of the isopropyl or isobutane canisters. The 1 pound propane canisters had got to the point where they were fairly hard to find for a little while there. So you may want to have a few of those on hand. Okay, I gotta read this. He was a test engineer for Case. Oh. Started in Wahpeton, ended up at North Dakota State University. Now he's a poor dirt farmer. Yeah, alcohol canisters. There you go. White gas. That'd be another thing I'd pick up, and I'd start looking for some of the older Coleman lanterns and Coleman stoves, especially the ones that are multi-fuel stuff. A little more handy anyway, not be limited to a certain product out there. But yeah, those isobutane canisters have been steadily rising in price, and I wish I had a hell of a lot more because they are a handy little stove to have. But yeah, I'm gonna have to wait until price drops a little bit on that, and then start gathering them up pretty hard. And the reason that I brought up fuel is, what's the one thing in Smokey, you'll have to forgive me because this is probably going to mostly pertain to the U.S., but what's the one thing that's coming up that always has fuel prices go low? You got an answer out there? Just curious. Ah, look at that. The guy from Australia hit the nail kind of on the head. Action. Most politicians don't want to try to get elected in a year where fuel prices are through the roof. So they will forcibly drop fuel prices. They do that. That's when we need to be looking at storing them up. I was talking to a friend of mine right before I came online, and he was actually talking with a fuel supplier. Now, mind you, this gentleman buys farm fuel, which for those of you that don't know what farm fuel is, it's just non-tax diesel. It's meant for off-highway use. That's the Asian way to pronounce it. Erection. But off-highway use diesel right now, he priced it out, I think, what the hell did he say? It was like $3.68 a gallon. Now, mind you, the way this gentleman buys it, he doesn't buy it in... He's not, when I say in bulk, he's not buying 500 gallons. Red dyed, yep, exactly. He's buying this in tanker loads. I'm talking 20,000 gallons at a time. So, yeah. And 20,000 gallons at a time at $3.68 a gallon. You do the math. Filter it through bread. If you want to take the red dye out, not that I would be telling you to do that. Just saying. Propane's over $5 a gallon right now? Yeah. Well, it's wintertime. You know how it is in the wintertime. We got to jack up all the heating oil prices. $4 gazillion. That's close. I mean, I would lean more towards like, I don't know, almost $80,000 in fuel. So, when not very damn long ago, you guys remember when crude oil hit like negative $30 a barrel? I think you could buy bulk farm fuel back then for 98 cents a gallon. Yeah, $73,600. There you go. Smokey with the calculator. Look at him. Yeah. When you used to be able to buy it not too long ago for $20,000, now you're spending $73,000. Guess what your price of food's going to do? If farmers' input costs go up, grain prices have to go up, otherwise you ain't got no farmers left. Grain prices go up, that means food prices go up. Just the way it is. But we'll see. I might be just blowing smoke here. No need for a calculator. He's just that damn quick. Supplemental home heating. Since propane is sitting at $5 a gallon right now. How many folks out there are heating with a 100-gallon propane tank? $500 to heat your house for a month and a half? That sounds fun, doesn't it? You wonder how that'll work this year? I think it's going to get damn interesting this year. There you go. Yeah. Wood heat. God forbid. I'll tell you guys right now, especially with this EPA shit and these tree hugging, you know, Mother Earth first, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how long you're going to be able to buy a wood stove. And for that matter, even if you can buy a wood stove, I don't know how long you're going to be able to buy a good wood stove. They've been trying for years to get rid of the wood stove, and why do you suppose that is? Outside of hard work that you put in yourself, who do you got to pay to heat your house with wood? What utility company do you have to be beholden to? And big dog, hairy husband, and a lot of quilts. Eat some salt. Well, big dog and the hairy husband might get tired of freezing their ass off keeping you warm. Just saying. Yeah. We need to be looking at, and I don't care where you live. Tell you what, you folks down in Texas, you tell me. This last year, wouldn't it make a little more sense to have had a wood stove in your house or some way to start a fire without, dying from carbon monoxide poisoning? Just saying. Oh yeah, you can make your own wood stove out of, actually you can make a damn nice wood stove out of a couple of 55 or 44, damn metric system, 44 gallon drums. You ever done a double stack there, Smokey? 2 barrels? You want to talk about a heat exchanger? Put 2 barrels on, you'll cook yourself out of the shop. But yeah, get the damn wood stove bought. And let me tell you, the pipes and shit have went up through the roof. I know now is not the time. I get it. But if not now, I don't know when you're going to get it. So. Just a thought. Buy scrap. Yeah, you can buy some used pipe out there. And I'll tell you the other thing that I do. Funny you bring up scrap. We have a steel yard in a town just about 40 miles from me. And a lot of their offcut stuff, you can go there and buy you buy it on the pound instead of what it actually costs, because to them it's just scrap. But you get in good with those guys, and I bought some Schedule 80 pipe, 8-inch, 4-inch, 6-inch, half-inch steel sheet for 75, 80 cents a pound. And yeah, it's still expensive, but holy hell. Go buy that stuff by the square foot or anything along that lines. It gets damn expensive in a hurry. Oh yeah. Lucid, I've actually looked pretty close at rocket mass heaters. I've thought about if I ever, these next couple years I'm going to be looking really hard at putting a cabin down on some property I got access to. And I want to look at doing a rocket mass heater just because it's a small amount of wood. But if you have enough thermal mass there, you get that hot, it stays hot for a long time after that fire goes out. Yeah, it gets expensive in a hurry. So does freezing. Yeah, I know. And Meryl, I'm trying to figure out, I got VOIFYI. I don't know what that means. Over on YouTube. You can burn garbage in a rocket mass. You run into a little bit of a problem when you burn, anytime you're burning paper. It doesn't burn as cleanly, I guess, unless you want to start making your own briquettes, which there are some guys out there that do it. If you get yourself one of them fancy dancy paint stirrers or yeah, I think it's a paint stir. It's not a sheetrock stir. Sheetrock mud stir. For like a 55 gallon or a 5-gallon bucket. You put that on a drill, you can put some paper down in the bucket, get it nice and wet, turn that thing on, kind of chop it up to a fine mush, dump it out, press all the water out and let it dry. Then have yourself a pretty good briquette for burning. And it burns fairly clean. But if you try just shoving, the problem is a lot of this stuff is a plastic based printing. That's some of the issues. That doesn't burn as well. But anyway. And of course, we need to look at stocking up on food. Prices aren't great right now, but prices I don't think are going to be getting any better than they are right now. And if you have ways to store it outside of refrigeration or freezing, it's a good time to do it. We will be getting into this year. We're going to be doing some canning. I'm going to take you guys along. We're going to do a little freeze drying out at a friend of mine's house so you can kind of see the process on that. I'll have to look into it, Smokey. And then we're going to do, dehydration and all that kind of stuff. That way you can kind of see all the differences between multiple ways of storing, without having a refrigerator or a freezer. Right now, I have a freezer outside. I could store meat for at least 4 or 5 months. Tomorrow, I think the temperature is supposed to be a high of -5 without the wind chill. So, yeah, it'd be cold enough to store. But food is going to become a big issue. The other thing we need to look at doing is putting a garden in. For those of you that live in a town area, you need to look to see if there's any shared garden space out there that you can take on. Or even being able to put stuff out on your deck. Even in a window. You'd be surprised how much food you can grow in a window. We need to get our green thumbs going this year. Medication. I know this is the fun one, and everybody wonders how in the hell to get a hold of stuff, and I'm one of them. As far as antibiotics and stuff like that, you guys can get creative, and fortunately, how do you protect a community garden? With the community. I don't know if we're going to have to worry about protection so much in the near future. Going forward, you're going to need to get out of town. Just the way it is. But there is quite a bit of it that grows out of the ground. Yeah. And there's call it your rocket dog. There you go. There are some options out there for folks, but antibiotics are a little touchy. And food plants look like, yeah, exactly. It's gonna sound horrible, but I am notorious for, if I get antibiotics prescribed to me, I will take them until my infection is completely cleared. But if I have some left, I don't continue to take them. I store those on the side. And they have come in handy before, so I don't recommend that. I'm not a doctor. I'm not prescribing. I'm not doing anything along that sort. So I just put that out there. But that's how I come across a lot of the stuff. And there's other ways you can do it. If you look online, you can figure it out pretty easy. First aid supplies is going to be another big deal. The reason I say this is because a lot of our first aid supplies in the United States comes from, China. So, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but our tension with China just continues to increase. Eventually, it's going to be a little difficult to find the stuff. Unfortunately. I don't know. A shotgun will deter. Depends on what process you want to go through. You're looking to scare them off, you're looking to dig a hole. 12 gauge will do it. It'll scare them off. And actually at 80 yards and 4-shot or double BB, it'll make their asses hurt. But a long gun will make you dig a hole. But, and then of course, now that we're talking about that, personal safety. You guys need to be looking at stocking up on some of that stuff. This last year, it was very hard to find a lot of the stuff that corner post. Yeah. It was pretty hard to find the personal protection stuff. 9mm, 223, 308, 30-06, shotgun, and all the way down to reloading stuff. It was pretty damn hard to come across, and it only got worse. Stock up on coconut oil, yeah. It does have some antibacterial properties. Honey is another good one. It has some antibacterial and antibiotic. And learn your wild edibles. And actually learn them. Don't buy a damn book. Here. Prime example. I own this book. Okay. This book does not make me an expert on wild edibles. That book only makes me not an idiot when I go out to try to learn with someone who actually knows what the hell they're doing. Hey, For the Glory, how's it going? It's a good book to have around, don't get me wrong. And that's another thing that we need to look at building up is our library. But for right now, get out there. There's plenty of foraging groups that you can get to know in the local area. People that know a hell of a lot more than you and I. They would be good people to get a hold of and see if you can, head up in the mountains with them or head out on the plains with them, down on the river bottoms. There's food to be found everywhere. Not just at the damn grocery store. But you got to know what you're doing or you can get damn sick in a really big hurry. We had a friend of my wife's that was up in the mountains and he ended up having to get mercy flighted off the mountain because he tried a mushroom that was not exactly what he thought it was, you could say. And as he began to bleed from every orifice possible, they just about didn't save his life. So, know what you're doing before you shove it in your mouth. That goes for everything, in fact. Figured Smokey would say that anyway, so I figured I'd get ahead of him. But some of the things that we're going to be covering here in the very near future, we've already went over the checklist for 2022. Now, what are some of the things that you guys have maybe thought about or come across or something I haven't covered or some ideas on the stuff that I did talk about. I am open for conversation. Stinging nettles? Yeah, not bad. You're an innocent soul? Yeah, okay. Glitter? Alright, for the glory, what do we need glitter for? Nah, I wouldn't carry a sword. I would be canning your own food? Yep. When you bring that up? We're going to be doing a little bit of that here very soon. And we're going to go over the actual cost of what it takes to start canning. Money-wise, time-wise. Animal husbandry, yeah. Small flocks or herds. Tell you what, rabbits are a good one to get into. Oh, okay. I got you now, Glory. Yeah, start raising rat. You know, the funniest part is most of you folks in town, can't have chickens, but yet you can have rabbits. Because rabbits are considered pets. Mind you, there's a lot of areas in this country that rabbits are considered livestock. So. Guinea hens? Oh, yeah. Yeah, but quail are, I don't know, egg. Takes a lot of eggs to make an omelet out of a quail, but they are easier than chickens. Well, to an extent. They can get out a hell of a lot easier. And smaller predators can take on a quail a little easier than they can chicken. Yeah, chickens are twofold. You got egg birds and meat birds, and the egg birds can even eventually become a meat bird. Best water cleaner? Alright, so Jill, you're asking about what I would use for a water cleaner? Guessing? Think was the question. I would look at either there's two companies out there, and they actually have about the same idea. Berkey would be one of them. And that one's been around for quite a while. They're a UK made company. They're not the easiest to get a hold of right now, but I'm trying to think of the other one. Basically, an American-made Berkey. Shortly. And actually, if you head over to my webpage, which is montanafree.net, and you look up My Patriot Supply, you can click on that link and head in. It's the Alexa Pure. The problem with the Pro Pure G2s, they do a wonderful job of filtering on the go. They just don't do it in a large batch. Australorps? Nope. Can't say I have. If you have a basement, you can grow mushrooms. Yep. That's true. But yeah, the Alexa Pure would be one that I would probably recommend, and it's It's American made. They are expensive. Don't get me wrong. The Berkey is not cheap either. But they're the only one that has, in a large quantity, I'm talking 2.5, 3 gallons at a time. You need 5 gallons. Yeah, see, 5 gallons is pretty tough to come by. Now, the good news is they filter fast enough where, if you had 5 gallons, 2.5 gallons in less than 40 minutes, yeah, if you're pumping. If you keep, if you go down for the 5 gallon bucket of water, pay attention to your filtration system. Once you get, 2.5 gallons, 3 gallons filtered, you can drain that off, store it, filter the next batch. You can get your 5 gallons in a day, and it doesn't take that long to filter out. But yeah, you can do some of the pumps. You just have to watch some of the problems with the pumps is they don't get all of the viruses out. You got to be a little careful when you're talking still water. Flowing water is a little bit easier. But yeah, still water is a little tricky. There's usually more bacteria, more virus load in still water. So I would still recommend Alexa Pure, because about your only next step up from there is doing like a whole house filtration system with a UV light and the whole 9 yards. Then you're talking thousands. Stock up on salt. There you go. The easy way to stock up on salt for me is you go and get the cattle salt. It's the same salt you and I eat. You can get iodized salt for cattle, and might be a little grit in there every once in a while, but you'll get used to it, and it's fairly inexpensive and easy to store. But you can buy that in super bulk for cattle. Well, Taffy, I'm glad you found me on Twitch too. Yep. I would do the iodine. Now, the problem with iodized salt is it doesn't last as long as pure salt. But you're right. People do need the iodine. Use pool salt? Okay. I don't know if I would do that, Randy. That's, well, I guess if it's a saltwater pool, sure. Only have a half hour for lunch. Sorry, buddy. And yeah, easy. We're going to be going over meat storage without refrigeration too. Some of that's going to be canning, and some of it's going to be, jerky and smoking. And I got all the fun toys. I just got to have time to use them and the ability. So I have the ability. I don't have the time. But for those of you that live on the coast, yeah, salt's pretty easy for you guys. Go out and get yourself a bucket of salt water and start boiling it down until you get the crystals. It's a little tougher over here in Montana. Not so easy. I do not have a cold smoker, but cold smoke is actually pretty easy to produce. I do have a cheating way to cold smoke. Yeah, you're talking like cold smoking cheeses and stuff like that. I have done it before. What I do is I pipe my smoker, the exhaust out of my smoker into my grill and leave the grill off. And it usually doesn't get above, well, hell. If I did it right now, I'd probably have a frozen block of cheese before the smoke ever got to it. But in the summertime, it'll, keeps it around that 50, 60 degree mark. Or springtime, I guess I should say, not summer. Well, Jill, anytime. And if you guys have more questions, by God, ask. Yeah, if you get a chance, head over to my website and if you haven't checked out My Patriot Supply, it's a pretty good company to look at. And actually, why don't we do that while we're talking here? We're going to pay some bills quick and be right back.
Food supplies have been completely wiped out. We have our evacuation of all counties. I report complete devastation. We have a giant squall, cloud, just gobbling up everything in their path. Total water supply.
There are forces in this world that remind us of how fragile we are. We thought we were safe. We thought it could never happen to us. Then life like a fog descends upon us, blanketing our memories. Through the haze, we travel its hidden paths, lost in its secret places. And when the storm, turbulent and immovable, forces us to shelter, we remember. It calls to us, calls us back. Back to the ports and the harbors of our past. We fight the currents that pull and drag us off course, not a light or star to chart the way. And when we arrive, we don't always know it at first, the places we once loved guised by time. Then we see it, the place we've been trying to get back to. Safe at last, we've found our way home.
Over to montanafree.net and check out our affiliate program that we have with My Patriot Supply. They support us, and we'd love to support them. All right, Yoga Pants, we'll catch you later. Did you catch my email? Hopefully you did before you took off. And for that matter, anyone out there that has any questions, want to email me. It is Montana Free, capital M, capital F, 406 at protonmail.com. Yeah, let's see, where the heck were we at? Just got a charcoal, oh, there you go, a couple bucks. Some of the things that we're going to be working on here in the very near future. We're going to be doing, we already did the checklist for 2022. We're still kind of bouncing ideas back and forth on that, and I thoroughly enjoy it. We're going to do some canning recipes, and all this stuff you'll be able to find on montanafree.net. We're going to do some canning recipes as far as canning meats and stuff like that. Sergeant Bob, you did wonderful on the phone. Hear you just fine, buddy. We're going to, I'm going to show you how to make a gun locker out of some of the inexpensive storage options that are at the big box stores. Something that kind of helps you out a little bit. We're also going to look at making a gear locker. Go bags and stuff like that, your first aid kits. And all be stored, hanging up, easy to grab, easy to go. What does it cost to start canning? We're going to go over that. The equipment that I have and that I've used for a few years now. And let me tell you, it's a continuing process. But just the basics, the starting out, we're going to go over that. Different options for long-term storage other than canning. You know, we talked about that a little bit in the beginning there about being able to do our freeze drying and dehydration, canning, smoking, all the fun stuff. Made some venison summer sausage. Now there you go. Sergeant Bob, did you do a tangy summer sausage or just a regular? Anyway, give you time to answer that here. I'll keep going down the list. How to save more money when you're making less. I haven't got an elk yet. You know, the funny part is the season still technically open. So there has been a weekend or two that I've snuck out. We just about came up on one. Oh, what in the heck was it? Oh, it was New Year's night. We just about came across one. There were signs that they were there a couple hours prior, but we couldn't track them down. But regular, you just added mustard seed? All right. JLK, you have yourself a freeze dryer. There you go. Harvest Right freeze dryer. Oh, trust me. Don't be afraid of it. It's an awesome tool. For those of you that haven't been around a freeze dryer, you know, I know they're expensive. They're not exactly a cheap unit, but if you can get a few of your relatives together, you can store a lot of food really fast and fairly inexpensive. And the cool part is it's not like a dehydrator, you know. When you do meat and a dehydrator, it gets really chewy, really jerky-ish. When you do meat in a freeze dryer, first off, you freeze dry it raw. You don't cook the product. And it returns to pretty close to the same texture once you reconstitute or rehydrate it. And the cool part is, rehydrate it with a marinade, it pulls that marinade all the way through that meat in minutes. So it is more than worth it. Storage wise, super light, easy containers, you know, usually it's the Mylar bags. Really, really, really easy to do. So yeah, JLK, you'll be impressed once you get to using it. And the biggest secret with them damn things are, don't let them shut off. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you keep that thing running because it'll pay for itself in a hurry. Only my third deer butchered and processed. For yourself, there you go. No, it's not hard to butcher a deer. You folks need to probably brush up on that. And if I would have had more time this year, if it wouldn't have been so damn warm, I would have videoed breaking down a deer and processing it. Didn't have much time. I had to move quickly on that one. So when it's 65, 70 degrees outside, you don't have a lot of time to get that meat off the bone and in the freezer. But let's see. I want to be thinking about little side jobs that we can pick up, or little things that we can do to make a little extra cash on the side. A lot easier to pay for this stuff if not using your monthly funds, you know, stuff that you've already budgeted. So we want to look at what we can do for that. The other thing I want to do, which I want to get lean, and we used to use that statement in the auto industry. Getting lean doesn't necessarily mean losing weight, although I need to. It means getting rid of the shit in your house, in your life, that distracts you, that clutters you up, makes it hard to concentrate. But getting lean is a mind, body, and home type thing. That's what we're going to be concentrating on. That's why storage is a big deal. Get the stuff up and out of your way, You're not stepping over it and constantly cussing yourself. Getting organized. That has a couple of meanings. The New Year's show, we talked about getting some folks together that were like-minded. So not only organizing our house, but organizing locally. Don't be afraid to start talking to people. What's the worst they're going to do? Think you're crazy? They already think that anyway. Might be better to find somebody out there that doesn't think you're crazy and has the same ideas as you. Yeah. Bacon's at $12 a pound. Well, Sarge, you just need to harvest a few more of them wild hogs. Yeah, getting rid of stuff that you haven't used or seen in 6 months and sell it. Somebody out there will use it. Use that money to get the stuff you need, not necessarily the crap you don't use anymore. Another thing I need to do is handle my vices. And we all have vices out there. Whether it be food or alcohol or, in my case, Copenhagen. We need to get rid of that shit. It's a weakness, not one that we can probably afford in the future. And I talked about it the other night. You come across an alcoholic, because there was guys, folks were talking about buying gold and silver and all that fun stuff. Yeah, that's going to make you purge a little bit there, Sarge. But, we talked about it. This little bottle right here. Yeah, it's a 1 ounce bottle of Fireball. I don't know, it cost me like $1. I think they were 10 for 12, so they were just over $1. But $1.20. This little bottle right here, if I came across an alcoholic that hasn't had a drink in a while, and he's got something I need and he doesn't need it as much as he needs this, I guarantee you he'll give it up for a shot of this. Just so he can remember what it felt like. Sounds horrible, but it's true. And I don't want to be the person that gives up 50 rounds of 9mm shells because I'm out of Copenhagen and the guy happens to have a roll of it. So if we get rid of our vices, it'll definitely make us stronger in the long run. That's just a few of the things that I want to concentrate on coming up this year. And I'd like y'all to come with me on it, if you can. Don't want to, I understand. So now we're going to get over to... So Wednesday we're going to be doing cutting and packaging pork loin. Because right now I can buy pork loin for $1... I think it's $1.78 a pound. And I can cut and wrap it myself. But what the heck, we might as well have a little class on that. How to do it. And how I pack it up with a food saver. By the way, Miss JLK, I have freeze-dried quite a bit of pork loin too, or pork chops. So I know that works well in a freeze dryer. But we're going to get the heck over to sharpening a knife. Got to have a sharp knife if you're going to be doing butchering. Any butcher work at all, actually. So, I already have a few of them, but I happen to come across one in the drawer that needs sharpened, and I know there's quite a few folks out there, and I don't know. Probably have a few in here that know how to sharpen a knife, but we're going to going to put an edge back on this knife. We're going to see how good I am at it. It's been a while since I've had to touch a steel, but you spent $900 on a, let's call it an ice cream maker. Makes something a lot better than Fireball. Yeah, I'll bet. But we're going to get moved over to the desk shot here, and we're going to start off going through the fundamentals on why a knife gets dull, how a knife gets dull. Because if you don't understand how it got there, you don't know how to get it back. Something that my teachers in butcher school made sure to let us know, that you need to know how a knife gets dull so you know how to fix it. Collapse currency. There you go. Alright, we're going to switch over to this view right here. There we go. Here. Rotate that camera so it's looking right. Bear with me here. There we go. Now we're facing the right direction. Alright, so all the fun in the world here. Knife edge. Actually, everybody hear me all right? I moved my mic, so. Knife edge is actually built up of two parts, technically. You're looking at a knife, it's fairly dull, but depending on the grind, this is considered a full grind, right? Knife like drop point. Look, there's actually here another. Real close, there's a micro belt. There you can just catch the glint. Most of your kitchen knife, butcher knife, are single grind. Grind top to bottom. Start your grind all the way up here. Set your entire angle. You can take a look at this edge. Wife has a habit of putting knives in a dishwasher, and I have an ugly habit of not wash them by hand when I need to, so hence why they end up in the dishwasher. But when they do that, see that edge is kind of there in the blade. There you caught it. Real folded over mark. Little one right about there. That is actually from in the dishwasher. Getting thumped down goes by. Wands go by to wash. It's lifting this up. Pins in there. Which chews the hell out of knives. Another thing a dishwasher does is it takes the temper out of these knives. In steel, you can tell. When it goes into the drying cycle and starts to heat this knife up, they'll lose their temper that way. You can put a temper back in a knife, it's just these don't have super hard temper. Right there. Okay. Oh, you're looking at. This isn't the Bubba knife. I do have a Bubba knife for fillet. This is just Sam's Club members mark. The knockoff Victorinox. So, when you have a knife edge, you have your standard grind, right? This is technically what we're looking at. If you looked at that knife, and at the very, very, very edge, bevel, a little steeper grind than these are. Over time, you can imagine having that very micro edge on this blade. Over time, what'll happen is one, edge of the blade here, you can take actual nicks out of it. Usually when that happens is when you're cutting something hard or you're cutting close to the bone. Instead of keeping the moving, you have a tendency to do this to get it away. Once you start that twist, that's when you start taking chunks. In this case, this one was done with a dishwasher, but now the other problem that you run into, this little point right here, real fine edge, actually start to curl, pull. When it does that, you start getting edge. Now, if you catch it soon enough, yes, you can straighten that with a steel. And I'm sure a lot of you have out there, they're long, smooth rod, basically run. Do that, all you're doing, trying to get this edge to tip back up. Still sharp, you know, it's sharp out on this point right over here. All you did was roll that edge. All you're trying to do with the steel is to roll it. It doesn't actually sharpen. And that's some of the mistakes that people make. Now, they'll buy a steel thinking that that's going to sharpen a knife. Not. Steels are meant to maintain an edge. Put an edge back on. So, bottom of a coffee cup. Oh yeah, that works well. Any porcelain. The other one is, you ever notice when you roll the window down on your pickup, has that nice beveled edge on the glass that sanded? That works really well. Inch, an edge back on a hunting knife. But tonight what we're looking at is now this edge completely rolled flat all the way over. Now your edge is looking more like this, bent up. Now mind you, that angle shifts as it's played. That's why you can catch this glint camera. There you can see it. Right there's a little silver wire right on the edge. That's that tip complete. Take your fingernail. Hear it. Fingernail catch. Anyway, that is it's completely rolled now. Fingernail will catch. So now what we have to do is grind this edge back. Now, we're going to get rid of rolled edge. I'm going to bring that point back just slightly. Here. Okay. So sharpening, that's the big difference between a steel and a sharpening. Sharpening, you're removing material. Steel, you're straightening material. Okay? So keep that in mind. Get rid of this now. Well, and actually, so when you go to stone, you have your sharpening, and you have your knife angle. Going to over exaggerate this. If you lay the knife too flat, not going to be working that angle. Okay? Pitch the knife too far up, and be changing your angle. Change your angle. Now you're going to have to really work at it. Miss this spot, it's going to get ugly. Want to do, lay that angle right down on the knife, right down on the stone, and across nice. Now, yeah, I really need to flatten my stone. Funny. I knew I was gonna. Now, look at a couple of options here that we have for stones. If you want to really get into this, you can step into whetstones. And whetstones are just that. Stone that has to be wet. These are all dry. Dunked them. And because we're not going to be using these tonight, because these are a step up once you. Guys, still here all right? So. So these whetstones are 2 different courses per stone. This one you can see is 240 grit. This one is when the edge isn't too bad, I can step it up to 3,000 grit, 8,000. 8,000 grit just about puts a polish. Not quite. And of course you leather. But so what I do with these is cards off. Fill one of those shoebox totes. Plastic can about yay full of water. I'll take this stone and submerge it about a half hour before I'm planning on sharpening it. You're just going to let it sit in there and keep absorbing and absorbing the water. And as you start to sharpen, water carries the filings away. Coming across with your knife, filings are rolling in front in the water. Now, as time goes on and you're sharpening, you're going to need to dunk these again. Dry out fairly quick. And it's a little bit of a process to do. So what we're going to do, another option for this one, diamond stones. Coarse and fine. Also have a porcelain sharpening rod. Made by Worksharp. And it's the Worksharp guided field sharp. Now, it is guided-ish. In this case, we're probably not going to. You can pick one of these up for $29.95. Inexpensive. It's got some gadgets and gizmos included. So, and you can see I've used this one a fair amount. So you have porcelain sharpening rod. Smooth side, and if you rotate the sharpening hooks, coarse side. And then you have a little porcelain rod over here. Fitted blades. Cut. Have a leather strop here. Here. Underneath these. No. But you take these stones off to clean them. Easy. Maybe you can see that weird cut on. See these? Those are broadheads out of an arrow. You need to put a edge back on your broadheads. You have a wrench right here. There's little rare earth magnets underneath. Pretty darn secure. Huh. Fingers out of the way. And now this is considered a dry stone. I do know some guys that run. I don't. Now you'll notice these are a 20-degree angle. So put this knife down at almost 2. There. Problem that you got, for what we talked about, bring your edge in. Make sure that you're at the angle. If you're 20 degrees, you're almost too sharp. You're going to start working that angle out of here. Knife. We want to drop this finer angle, like a 15 to 17. Get away with that. Take your knife, hold it flat. Little dark line. Tip up. You're gonna 15 degrees. 20. Come back to where we're gonna stay off these guides. Here. I'm not pushing hard down on. Better do it before and after. Nice piece of paper. Pulls the paper. Not exactly sharp. Now, with a short stone like this, now if I was using my longer stones, whetstone, single pole. Starting out, you might want back of your spokes. One. Now you'll notice as I'm coming into the tip, I'm raising up. Now, speed this process up a little bit. Otherwise, you guys will be here all night. Start to see the scratches there. A little too shallow on that line. And what we're doing on the course pass, trying to take material away. See, now with that shined up, you might gotten most of these out already. Just gonna keep working until those disappear. One grind, one gouge is almost too deep for me to get out. Yeah, we'll try a little longer here. So, we are going to switch over to the fine side and just see how. Yeah, 15 degrees works good for butcher's knives, camp knife, something like that. Little steeper, 20 degrees would be fine. Think about this compared. Axe has a real steep grip. 5 degrees, 30 degrees. But the problem with an axe is really good at splitting wood. It's really good at cutting a tree down. But I'm not going to try to cut up a deer with one. Now you can see those. Fix those. Almost have to come. Which I have. I have a. That's a wonderful. Got a good edge on it. I don't know. You get quite a bit of metal finally. We're taking more off of there than we think. There are some deep gout. Well, let's finish up the knife here and actually feel that wire. When you're sharpening, there's a fine wire that starts. What you're wanting to do, you're going to take that wire from one side of the blade to the other. Finally wear that wire almost completely. That's what the strop is for. Way, get it there. Right home to mom about, but it'll cut. Now my music sound is cutting up. Audio and it drops the music. That way when I'm talking, I'm not talk over the over the top of the music. Now the problem with that is other no drops the music. Just use a microfiber towel to take the metal shavings out. One bad part about a diamond stone, actually start to make not impressed with it. See how I lost a hold of the luckily I didn't screw up the edge. Not thoroughly impressed with myself there. I'm a little out of practice. Now what I like to do is come up to the stone, take a wipes on it, same angle. What I'm trying to do is knock that wire down. Now, hold of the strop. Out with the strop, instead of going against it like this, you'll wreck edge first. Edge to the back. So this. Now the work sharp actually fine grit embedded in this leather. Jeweler's Rouge. Basically all you're doing here is burnishing that wire. Can't feel it with your finger. Fingernail clicks when light burr there. Tell you right now, considerably sharper than it was. Hear that nick? Fibers of the So to thoroughly cure this one, I'd have to take it. It is considerably sharper. So with just a little bit of time, take us 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Now you have a usable knife. Not perfect, usable. Run out and buy another one. Butchered your deer with a far duller knife? Well, you need to sharpen your knives there. Yeah, so this little work sharp, it does a pretty good job for what it is. It's not a huge, I mean, see, it's not massive. Back, easy to, what, 8 inches, probably, roundabouts. 8 inches overall. Actually, it's only 7. We'll see you later, Max. Yeah, pick one of them up on Amazon for $29.95 or something along that lines. What, Smokey, what kind of sharpening system did you pick up? What I like about these is they're easy to carry with you. You know, I throw this one goes with me. Oh, it goes in my hunting pack, it goes in my camping pack. I take it with me fishing. You'd be surprised in a we go again, in a survival situation, how important those are. These are the hook. Really, stall looks white. There you go, now you can see them. Those are the hook grooves, sharpening up a hook. You find a rusty hook on the shoreline, you can put a point back on it and make it feasible. S-Proof KLC. Is that the, is that the Russian-made one? It's a fairly expensive sharpener, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Prof. If it's the one I'm thinking of. You have a crossbow-shaped key-handle knife with a Skinner hook. Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It's kind of a spin-off of a, or not a kukri, oh, it's an Alaskan Skinner. I can't remember what the hell they call them. Ulu? Anyway. Ulu. Yeah, there you go. Made a stupid expensive purchase. Yeah, but that TSP, yeah, that's a good sharpener. I will say that. And that bugger though is heavy. That thing doesn't go anywhere other than the table it's on. Gotta move this light. Hold on just a second. I'm glowing. I'm practically glowing. There we go. And we'll turn her down a little bit. There. That's better. My retinas were burning out. Yeah. Taffy, you're right, an Ulu. They're an interesting knife. Yeah, just the metal base is about 10 pounds. Yeah, it's a good one. We'll say that. Yeah, I have a friend of mine. I was supposed to blacksmith out an Ulu for him, but I haven't got around to it yet. He gave me all of his Farrier files, and all he wanted was an Ulu back. Pretty simple to knock one out, but I did make a Bowie out of a full Farrier rasp, and that bugger is fun. It's probably just over a foot long. What's neat about the Farrier files, if you when you're the real rasp, the real high point grinder, basically, when you lay those down with your hammer, the one side almost looks like snake scales. It's interesting. Blue-Eyed Diva, thank you for the follow. And actually, we had a few follows I've missed. And for all you folks over on Twitch and YouTube, thanks for being here. Yeah, so this is just kind of a taste of what we're... It's a Gerber? Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it. It's almost like a little neck knife almost, but they do come in handy. Just a little bit of a taste of what this year is going to be looking like. Less music, less video, less messing around, let's face it. We're going to get down to business, and we're going to try to, I'm going to try to show you guys some things. A lot of this stuff you already know. And hopefully, though, you can pick up some stuff that you don't know. And tell you what, this little work sharp, came across one of these at a hardware store. $5. Tough to beat. For a go anywhere sharpening system. Good one to have. Yeah. So it went kind of quiet over there. The other thing we're going to look at doing... You guys remember when I put together the little Stanley cook pot? I have a few of those now. The only thing I'm missing is gotta get the little stove for them. Oh yeah, and I would like to get 2 or 3 of these. They're not the easiest thing to get a hold of locally. What's my Proton Mail? My Proton Mail is capital M, Montana, capital F, Free, 406 at protonmail.com. Dump it in again. There you go. Actually, for anybody that wants to get a hold of me, you can sure use that email address. I'm not shy. I might not get back to you right away, but I will try. Yeah. No, so that's kind of the direction the channel's heading, and I know it's not. What's a good way to put it? It's not a screaming at you news channel telling you, how the world's going to end. We're not going to do that. And it's not going to be a ignore everything and let's just have some fun till the end. So, is what it is, I guess. We're going to be focusing more on skills. More on the stuff to help us get through, the worst situation. It's not all... That's the funniest part. When you talk about being prepared, it's not necessarily all about politics. that kind of stuff. It could be as something as simple as lost your job. Need to still eat. Can't afford groceries and you don't have anything set aside. Pretty hard to live. I don't know what's going on with the camera tonight. I keep going from orange to white. Yeah. The Stanley Cook kits. We might hit one of those. It's more of a single person pack. You could probably. It's not for a bunch of folks to eat out, but it's no bigger than this right here. I mean, and for the cheap Ozark Trail Cup and the Stanley Cook set, you're in it. I bet you I could build, right now I could build one of these for, I think the cups are $5. These I know I can get on sale most of the time for 15, at the most $20. So probably $35 all in. Then you got yourself a pretty simple cook kit. Hi, I'll leave that up to you, Randy. You can go out in the dry ditch there behind Dairy Queen. If that's your thing, hey, good on you. Everybody needs loving sometime, huh? But anywho, we're going to try to keep these down to shorter shows if we can. Oh yeah, Bob. Okay, that's the one I was thinking of. The other one that I knew about had a Kydex sheath that was made for it. It actually snaps in. Looks like this has the typical Gerber canvas style sheath. Yeah. Myself, I would build a little... Has anybody ever worked with Kydex? As far as for knife sheaths or gun holsters? Okay. Kydex is a pretty inexpensive product. And, like anything else, when it's inexpensive, it takes a little bit of work, but you can warm it up in a toaster oven. You've seen Kydex before. A lot of it looks like black ABS, like the hard side holsters. A lot of those are Kydex, and you can form them pretty easy with, you buy it's a fairly dense foam, almost like a seat cushion foam, but you warm these, warm two pieces up. You would put your knife in between, and then you press down with those two cushions into a kind of a sample board, and you just keep tightening down until you can't get it any tighter. And what it does is it presses that Kydex around your knife and makes it an exact mold of your knife. Then depending on how you cut it, how you rivet it, actually have pretty good retention with it where it snaps in and out. You can get Kydex. You can find suppliers online. Not the easiest thing to come across, but you can find it if you don't want to use Amazon. Amazon, of course, has it. Okay. Ms. Jakey and JLK, you've come across Kydex, I'm guessing. Yeah. No, these little camp cook kits, they're easy to pack. Pretty dang quiet. The other thing I like about them, once you get them packed in there, there's quite a bit of stuff in this. Well, do you guys want to look inside of one just quick? For those of you that weren't around for the Stanley Cook Kit. I can just show you what the inside looks like if you want, quickly, before we get the heck out of here. No, that's a good knife. Sarge, you got to put an edge on that thing, though. I can see a wire forming. Got to get her before she folds all the way over. Yeah, and there's been a little bit of a change in the schedule. So Monday nights is going to be tips and tricks, just like we did the night, you know. Just the quick how-tos and the demonstrations and maybe some product reviews and stuff like that. Wednesdays will be prepping on a budget. Some of the things that I find out there that we can pick up, or some of the things that we can do ourselves without spending a whole bunch of money. And then Friday night, which I'm awfully excited about because it worked well. We're going to do a call-in show again every Friday night. So every Friday night we're going to have this screen here, and we're going to call it Cussing Around the Campfire. And whoever is going to be special guest, which I think this Friday is Mr. Grotness is coming back. You'll be able to have a feed directly to him, and then you'll see this 406 number scrolling across down here. That you can call from any regular phone. Doesn't have to be Discord or, you know, this or that or the other one. Just pick your cell phone up, dial that number. It'll ring into the show, and you'll be able to talk with us or ask questions or tell us we're wrong or whatever you want to do. Yeah. It should be fun. And I think we're going to keep this going because I think being able to talk to each other is a hell of a lot better than me talking and you listening and being able to type every once in a while. So, I didn't see a lot of interest on the cook kit, so I think we're going to put this away for a later date if that's all right with you guys. And we're going to go through building one of these out anyway here soon. We got a lot of stuff to do. Well, you can, Smokey, but I also have the ability to turn you down, so you might be singing to yourself there, bud. Yeah. I think it'll be a fun time. We're going to pay one more bill before we get the heck out of here. The short ones. And come back and there, good nights. And yeah, we'll probably catch you guys later. But if you want to hang around just a little bit longer, got a couple of things I want to share with you.
Educating our kids with our values is more important than ever. Check out the Tuttle Twins series. It's a children's book series that helps educate your children in the ways of conservative values. There's study guides at the end of every book to help parents with, you know, the questions that we need to ask to make sure that the kids understand what they just read. So if you would, head over to montanafree.net, click on Educational Alternatives, and you'll be able to find it there. Trust me, your child's future is worth it. So do you want to help support the channel and be able to tell everyone you're an official MFer? Well, say it with pride and head over to montanafree.net. You'll find some of the best MFTV apparel over there. And don't forget about the beer mugs. And if you want to, you can always say, "Let's go, Brandon." So head over to montanafree.net, check out the apparel today. You won't be disappointed.
Anyway, guys, I am going to get the heck out of here. Spend a little time with my family. We will catch you back here Wednesday night. And of course, like I said, we're going to be doing we're doing prepping, so We're going to show you how to butcher up a pork loin and maybe get a few different cuts out of there that you haven't thought of. And, yeah. Let's have a good old time. And now we got a sharp knife. So hang around for that. We will catch you this Wednesday, 7 o'clock Mountain Time. That's right, Mountain Time. Over here, Montana Free TV. Thanks for hanging out, guys, and we will catch you later. Thanks for watching, everybody. And remember, keep your heads up, keep your head on a swivel, put on the armor of God, and everything's just going to be okay. See you Wednesday.